Radio. It's yet another beautiful brand new day, and you are welcome to the news headline review right here on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. And today on my panelists, as part of my panelists is Miss Regina Bless. Good morning, Miss Regina.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Good.
Hope all is well.
Yeah, fine.
I see you look very tired. Are you that tired? Or you need a spa treatment?
I'm good.
You're okay. All right. So before we dive into our news headline for today, so it came in just yesterday. Alleged assault. Afenyo Makin Oli retaliated after attack. So yesterday in the evening, we saw in the news that Afenyo Makin has been called by the Ghana Police Service for investigation for assaulting a police officer. So that is the issue at hand as of now. And then Afenyo came out with a long press release. As long as it is going to, buy too much time. So I think we just speak briefly about it before we dive into our major news headline for today. So what do you have to say with regards to that? But have you
said
seen it?
He was arrested for assaulting.
Not arrested. He has been invited. Yeah, for investigation.
Was he the one who assaulted the police officer, or another person assaulted the police officer?
Okay, so from reports, he said that the police officer attacked him. So in order to defend himself, he had to also, retaliate back.
Attacked who?
Attacked him.
Afenyo.
Yes.
So it means
so when we got to the parliament, I don't know if you saw that. So when we got to the parliament house, everyone was struggling to get into the yard after the barricade. But I don't know if they didn't know it was Afenyo Makin, because they were pushing and pushing. I was there and I saw everything as well. They were pushing and then pushing. But at the point that Afenyo Makin also pushed the police officer back, that I didn't see it. So that is what the news is telling us. And then he has been called for investigation. And then he said the police officer attacked him. So he pushed him. So he also had to, do something. So that was when he also came in to also push him back. So that was it. That was why he was called for investigation for assaulting a police officer. Yeah.
But assaulting the police officer, called in for questioning. Then they should also call the police officer also in for questioning for assault, because assault is not limited to who you are. Assault is not limited to your position you have in parliament, or it's not limited to the kind of work or the kind of dress you are wearing. Let me put it that way. So if he has been called in for questioning, the police officer also needs to be questioned, because Afenyo is also human, and he pushing him is also an assault. So why should he retaliate and you call him in for questioning? For what exactly? So, if a police officer pushes me, I'll push you back, because it is not stated anywhere that you need to push me. It is not in the law. It is not in the constitution. If you slap me, I'll slap you back. The ideology or the perception most people have is aban uniform, and you need to give respect to that uniform. Yes, you need to give respect to that uniform, but you don't go as far as assaulting someone else, all because you have the power to do so.
All right, so these are his words. According to him, as he approached a barricade, a uniformed police officer stationed behind the barricade by the name Constable Forsen, without any provocation, deliberately struck the left side of his chest with the full force of his right palm, directly near his heart. The Honorable MP revealed that the impact of the hit dazed him, as he was visibly shaken and short of breath. But do you think he's exaggerating this though?
He's not exaggerating, because
in other words, he's trying to say that he nearly collapsed.
Oh yes, your heart is a very sensitive and vital organ in our body. And when you, I don't know, way back in school, even when you hit someone on the chest or even at the back, it's very dangerous. And even your forehead, baby, I almost say when you even when you hit someone, it has an impact on the person's eye. So imagine the heart, is it right or left? The heart is here. Left.
Yes.
But he said right.
Said left. Go on.
This is GhanaTalks breakfast show.
You
your
can't
morning
hit someone on the chest,
the
even
left side
where
of his chest.
Where his chest is, and hat akuma.
Hey, so you think he needed to do anything in his possible best to defend himself?
So
that is why he pushed.
What if yes? So if someone pushes you and you get hurt, you not retaliate.
But that's a police officer.
So are you are what? You sitting there, you are what? You are nobody. The police officer is somebody. No.
But they said the
don't
police
do
is
that.
a friend and they are supposed to protect.
And so police is our friend and you are pushing me. I've been hitting where my heart is. And I'll go home and be suffering consequences. Because what he did, if it's very severe, as he said, because he's the only one who experienced how the impact was. We didn't experience, we don't know how hard the hit was. But whatever hits that hard hit someone gives you, it has a consequence. That is why even when you have an accident and you don't have a cut on your body, they still make sure they take you to the hospital to make sure there's no internal bleeding. So we should know that our actions have consequences. Whatever we do have consequences. And it shouldn't only be Afenyo Makin who should be dealt with, or who should come in for question, or who should I say
be
investigated. The police officer also needs to be investigated, because as he said, unprovoked, and you just hit me. So they need to investigate it.
All right. But do you think calling him for investigation wasn't necessary at all?
It's not necessary.
Because it was a demonstration.
It's not necessary. Then it means all of us, we can also sue the police officers.
Because yesterday the push was hard. The push was hard, and I feel like it was a demonstration. So these things are bound to happen. So calling him for investigation, I feel there's something behind it. Maybe they want to make him popular again, or maybe they want to hear something, or simply because the protest was peaceful as possible. They were looking for something just to, bring out something. Yeah, so that was it. Yesterday in the evening, we saw in the news that
this is GhanaTalks breakfast show.
Called in by the Ghana Police Service for investigation for assaulting a police officer. So that was just by the way. We are diving straight into our news headline for today. Government to reverse names of public university change under Akufo-Addo. The Mahama government is preparing to introduce a new bill in Parliament to rename the C.K. Tanda University of Technology and Applied Science and several other public universities across the country. The Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, made the announcement during the swearing-in ceremony of the Governing Council of CKT UTAS in Accra. CKT UTAS, established in 2021 to provide students with practical and technical skills for the global job market, has faced various infrastructure challenges affecting its academic development. Additionally, the university's name has drawn mixed reactions from the public, with some stakeholders opposing it from the beginning. He added that this move forms part of a broader initiative to review and potentially rename several public universities established or renamed during the term of former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Haruna Idrisu clarified that the government's proposal to rename several public universities is not intended to undermine the legacy of individuals after whom these institutions were named. Among the universities likely to be affected by the review are the University of Mines and Technology, and the Abdullahi Salifu University. The proposed changes form part of a broader initiative to reassess the naming of public universities that were renamed or established during the administration of former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. The government is expected to table a bill in Parliament soon to formalize the renaming process. So this is coming from the Ministry of Education, Mr. Haruna Idrisu, and he says the government is to reverse names of public universities under the Akufo-Addo government. And one of the universities is going to be the CKT UTAS University here in Accra and the University of Mines and Technology. So this is it. What is your overview of this? In actual sense, is this the way it's supposed to go?
Okay, so for the Abdullahi Salifu University,
yeah,
this way.
You think it's not fit for a
why no
university?
Is the person nipa no mode university in town? I don't know see school that you know Abdullahi Salifu, because it looks like it's someone's name, and maybe in a way they are trying to honor the person the same way we are honoring Kwame Nkrumah. So automatically Kwame Nkrumah is a university. We are honoring him. But for this particular one, Abdullahi Salifu University, that is what I don't understand. You they ask you which university are you in? Please, I mean Abdullahi Salifu University.
But
it's a red flag.
I don't know. But does the name of the university really matter?
Hey!
The impact it's having on the
really? So that's your how do I say it? Does your appearance really matters to you?
Oh yes, it does.
Yeah,
but
so that is
different.
Oh, how is it different?
It's schooling.
It's schooling.
Some people can call Mangwasi Senior High School.
Wait.
But the students umbrella, like they are intelligent.
See.
So does the name of the school really
really matters.
or does it have an impact
it
on the
really
students?
Matters. It really matters, and it has an impact on the students.
But
if it doesn't have if it doesn't have an impact on the student, why would some people ask you which school did you attend, which SHS, which JHS did you attend? You go and mention a school which is not popular. Do you know that these kids laugh at you? Or you've not experienced that before?
They laugh at you, but the issue was the impact the school is having on you.
Everything is a contributing factor.
So you think
this Abdullahi Salifu Abdullahi Salifu no.
Wait, listen. Are you saying that's because this university is not well known by a lot of people? Because assuming we have...
it's only today I'm hearing of this university, Abdullahi Salifu.
And I'm saying that assuming is well, like people really knew about this university. Would you still say the fact that that university
I would only say that it's cool if from the onset the government gave that name to it from the scratch of the building.
But here lies the case: we have Kwame Nkrumah.
And he's our founder, so it is one is reasonable. But my question is, this Abdullahi Salifu we are talking about here, who is he? Wait.
So what if he was also a founder of the school?
Which founder of the school?
What if he was also a founder of the
school? It's good that they want to rename the university, some universities under the past administration, because it looks like when the past administration came into power, they changed most of the names of the universities, and even some properties here in Ghana, they changed their names to what they want. I think there's an airport which they changed the name. I've forgotten the airport, but when NDC came into government, they said they will make sure that Kotoka.
Yeah. By what they said they were going to change it to, I forgot it.
Initially, it was
it's Kotoka. But they said they were going to change it. Yeah, they said they were going to change it to something else. But after the back and forth, it didn't take place. But I don't know if that situation, that issue is still at hand. If it's still going to happen. Yeah. So we are still on the university. Yeah. Abdullahi Salifu.
I'm trying to
Tamale Technical University. So it's in Tamale.
Okay. So what I have here is Professor Abdullahi Salifu Esuru.
Yeah, Esuru.
So he's a Ghanaian professor from Tamale. He was vice chancellor of Tamale Technical University. He's the current president of the Medina Institute of Science and Technology. That is all I have here. Nothing
that is all
else.
I see as well.
So then it means every professor in this country or Ghana here should be named how is it said? Every university
school.
So University of Ghana Legon, the president or the professor there should be named. The name of that president there should be given to the University of Ghana. They should take it off. When you go to Kwame Nkrumah, the president there, they should give the name to the school. All the schools across. I don't really see the need why you would. Then it means maybe the person has done something. But even at that, you don't have the right to do that.
So this is what the Ministry of Education is saying. The Minister of Education, Haruna Iddrisu. He said this move forms part of a broader initiative to review and potentially rename several public universities established or renamed during the term of former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So I don't know, but I feel like they don't really have a concrete reason to, rename and then change the names of these universities simply because it was under the former government.
So you're also trying to say it's politically motivated.
Yeah, so why don't we leave it for it to be so? Or are they changing it because
Abdullahi Salifu University?
Or maybe there's a new collaboration, that is why maybe they want to infuse that, maybe the name of the university into, if that is.
But with what you are saying, I do understand you that in a way it's politically motivated. But let's ask ourselves, what was the motive behind the past administration changing the initial name of that university to another name?
That name,
they also didn't come out to give us any concrete reason.
It's a new established university, so it's not like it's an old university that was there way back and then they had to change it. There's actually a new university that was established under Akufo-Addo. And maybe, I don't know if this current government doesn't find the name suitable. That is why they want to change it.
Me myself, I don't find the name suitable.
Just like how we have Kwame Nkrumah, and that is his name. Okay. Let's forget the fact that
Abdullahi Salifu.
No, and let's forget the fact that he was the founder.
Okay.
Or maybe he was a reputable person in the community. That is
okay. So would you say it's wrong for a country or a government to build an institution or build a building or even build a monument or statue in honor of someone? Is it wrong?
They are just remembering the person in memory of that person. Just like the way sometimes you go to town and we have a Tamil street. It's in memory of the person. That person left a legacy. Who knows this professor? I don't know much about him, and I don't know what
if he had left a legacy, or if we know much about him on Google, it wouldn't only be limited to his name. That's the only thing we are seeing. No achievements, nothing.
But my problem is I don't see a concrete reason these universities should be named. Is it simply because they were under the previous government?
In a way, we can also say it's politically motivated.
Yes. Because if he's saying that this move forms part of a broader initiative to review and potentially review, fine.
Since their theme is resetting, then we will take it like that. Then it means they need to come out to give us reasons. They need to put down reasons why they are doing that.
Their reason is not it's not concrete.
That is what I'm saying. They should come out and explain better to Ghanaians. Because as both of us, we are confused. That is how most Ghanaians are also confused.
And here it says that the government is expected to table a bill in Parliament soon to formalize the renaming process. And we know definitely Afenyo Markin is going to, be harsh on them with this. And I support that. I'm not for any party, but I don't see the reason why someone has built a university. Nanado has built a university, fine, and it's 7 people. But as the name of the university have an impact on these children, if they are good teachers over there, good lecturers, and they are teaching the children well. If you ask me which school, I'm going to Abdullah University, what do you have to say about that? I know what I'm getting from there, and I know why I went there. So the name of the university shouldn't affect me. Mr. B.
Who lied to you? Excuse me. The name of the school you attend, it has a positive or negative impact. I'm not saying the school is not good. The school is good. But you know, sometimes the name of schools actually opens some kind of platform. So for your example, you're going for an interview and they ask you, which school are you from? They've not even asked you the questions, but the school and then the reputation of the school, it actually gives you some favor. So and the name of the schools also counts.
It gives them the opportunity to learn about the school. So that is you giving exposure.
I know, but Abdullah Debe, it doesn't wait.
So what about Kwame Nkrumah? Assuming Kwame Nkrumah was not a founder, that is his name as well.
Yes, that is his name.
You like that one? Why do you like that Kwame Nkrumah being Kwame Nkrumah? Is it because he was a founder or what?
It's not because he is a founder. Listen to the name. Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology at Osei. No, so I'm just asking.
Right now you are debunking it because the name doesn't sound right in your ears.
Not as if the name doesn't sound right, but well, it might also be that the president, after the school was built, had a chat with the people, and the people themselves decide. Because sometimes they can decide that these people has played a major role, and sometimes when it's happening like that, they consult the people in the community. So maybe the community also decided that
what they have done.
Abdullah what? And if not for this, I
feel like you guys are saying this because maybe the name doesn't like.
We are not saying it because the name doesn't sound well. First of all, Amwako Brako, he's saying the university needs development, not change of name.
Exactly.
Now, we are not saying that it doesn't sound well, doesn't sit well for us because of Abdullah Salifu University.
So what
we want to know what purpose that name serve for the university. Fine, we know Kwame Nkrumah was a founder in Ghana. He gained independence for us. And when you are building a university or when you want to honor someone, you either name the person according to a street, a gold statue, a monument, a university, or whatever, just in remembrance of that person. Now we want to know Abdullah Salifu University. What is it as well? What is the impact? Why did they name that university according to that name? What should I say benefit?
Like what
achievement? What caused this?
So we read that Mr. Abdullah is actually a professor and a vice chancellor of the
So this is what I'm saying. Maybe the person has actually done something great in the community.
So don't you think being a vice chancellor is a big deal?
Hey, madam.
Vice chancellor, and they think a vice chancellor, then they don't school be
exactly.
Then immediately let me see if I become a vice chancellor, then I have to name the school after me. It is different when it's a private institution. And then you have to come up with your own name.
Please find out if it's a private institution.
What happens to acronyms? You can actually merge names. We have some there is a school at my place, Emisams Masters, Emilia and Samuel, and then they did it Emisams. So what is wrong with that? Abdullah Abdullah Salifu. They can actually pick 2 words or 3 words from 2 names, bring it together, and then it will.
That one you don't have a problem with it. If it's an acronym and then they ask you ask the person what's the full name and the person tell you Abdullah, and you are still okay with that.
That's the school.
What difference does it make?
We are here talking about it, but someone is proud being a student of Abdullah University.
Exactly.
So
just like how I'm also proud of my. Sometimes you mention the name of your
proud of my
and
school.
Then they ask you what school is that, and I'm like. Then I teach them about the school. I take them to the school's website. So this is our school and this is what we offer. So with that, you are creating awareness and then you are educating the people with regards to the school. So we also changed the name of our school, yeah?
The education minister saying he wants to change the name of the school, they might have their own reasons why they want to change the name of the school.
The reason here is that they said it's a move to form part of a broader initiative to review and potentially rename several public universities established or renamed during the term of President Nana Addo Dankwa.
What are they reviewing? School.
It's good to review if the school is doing well in terms of development or what. That is fine, but I don't see why they have to change the name of the school.
They have to change the name. They have their own reasons why they have to change the name. Name, place,
and I've just read that to you. Yes, and this is coming from the minister himself.
So this is what I'm saying. It's not compulsory to use the name Abdullahi.
I just can't wait for this issue to go to Parliament. And let me see how Afenyo Markins is going to treat this issue.
Abdullahi Salifu University. Hey. Abdullahi Salifu. You see, this schools in the West.
That is how you also go outside the country and people ask you. Kwame Nkrumah University. I'm like,
yes, so you tell them.
Kwame
Nkrumah, even outside the world, they know who Kwame Nkrumah is. They know that our founder is
Kwame
Nkrumah.
Because he was a founder.
Yeah, so they know. So I feel like, see, it's not because the person is a chancellor. You have to name the person after a school or something. They can actually do other things. As you said, there can be a statue.
Just as one of our audience has commented, there's no need to change the name of the school. What they need to do is to reset and then
they will reset. For reset, they will reset.
But this naming of the school, I feel like
it's going to depend solemnly on changing the name of the school. Oh, well. I think they will do other things as well.
All right.
So they have to. Abdullahi, Salifu University. Do you know Salifu? It's a town's name. Abdullahi Salifu.
Afenyo Markin is waiting for you.
But it's good. You see, now everybody is getting to know the school. It's good.
Right.
Everybody is getting to know the school.
People are getting to know it.
Go there to see. Like that.
So why do you want?
They are talking
just
about.
Like how you've also punched it into Google to look for the school.
People also know
more about the school.
Yeah.
So I don't see why you guys should have to change the name of the school.
They have to.
Just develop the school.
They will develop it and
all right, moving on. School feeding reform necessary to stop abuse. Ibrahim Ejay, a former assistant secretary of the office of the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has declared his full support for the government's decision to restructure the Ghana school feeding program. Mr. Ejay endorsed the ongoing reforms following the termination of contracts for all caterers under the program nationwide. The Ghana School Feeding Program announced in an official statement dated May 2nd, 2025, that it has terminated contracts for all existing caterers across the country with immediate effect. Reacting to this development, he highlighted key concerns that necessitated the restructuring of the program. He further emphasized that the misuse of the program by some school authorities created loopholes that undermine the intended purpose of the initiative. So this is coming from Mr. Ibrahim Ejay, who is a former assistant secretary at the office of the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And he's saying that this is necessary for the school feeding program to be reshaped and then reformed in order to stop abuse. But I want to ask, what are some of the abuse the students encountered? Was it them going hungry, feeding them once a day, twice a day? Is that a form of abuse?
I think it has to not. I'm sure he's pointing out not only to the food, but I mean the discipline in the schools as well. Because you see, we've seen a lot of videos where a colleague student is disciplining her fellow colleague as if he is a teacher, using cutlass.
Okay, let's focus on the feeding.
Yeah, abuse. Well, it might
actually stop abuse.
Well, it might actually be that maybe the food they are supposed to serve the students, they are not serving them as they are supposed to. Because I think somewhere last year, there is this senior high school in Volta region where they actually came across a taxi driver. And then the food that was supposed to that was meant for the students, cartons of tin tomatoes, bags of rice. I mean, they went to deliver the staffs in the school, and then it's like they delivered 20% of it to the school, and then 70% the headmaster asked the taxi driver to send it to his house. And then they chased him, and then they caught him. And then you could see bag of rice, tin tomatoes, and all this. These foodstuffs are meant for students, not for your stomach. So when he's talking about abuse, then I feel like he's trying to say that the food that is meant for the students, that's not what they are being fed with. And mind you, these caterers, they are being paid because they pay them per head. And for the start, you have to go in for loan. Then the government will come and pay you later. So they pay you. Why don't you want to do the right thing now? Because when it's happening like that, you, the students, will not feel as if they are the one, abusing it, and then not wanting you to eat and then get satisfied, or not wanting you to feel free, comfortable, just as they promised. But they are the ones not doing the right thing. Because I saw in the video, he was like, they have to be a tight supervision, and it's true. They have to go around and check whether the food they are being served these students are what is meant for them. Because see, senior high school, the porridge they will give you, you can actually see your face in the porridge, very light, but the stuffs are there, and then this stuffs is being pushed into one person's home, and then so little is being given to these children. So I feel like when it comes to the food abuse and stuffs, maybe what is meant for the students, they are not giving it out to them. That's my take.
Miss Regina.
All right, so I'll say that I do agree with him, especially on the school feeding program. They're restructuring it. It's very, very good. And with the abuse he's talking about, it boils down to children receiving, or school kids receiving, meals that were nutritionally inadequate or insufficient in portion size, despite the funds allocated. And also some caterers cut corners due to delayed payment or to maximize profit. And also we had cases of some teachers, some headmasters, headmistresses taking some of the foodstuffs to their various homes to use. And also when we talk of the abuse, it also boils down to the government. That has to do with delay in payments. Do you get my point? Delay in payment
to the caterers.
Yeah, to the caterers.
But the caterers, they've terminated their contract. I don't know why they had to do that. Do they feel
they've not fully terminated it, but it's a warning.
They've terminated it too.
Yeah, it says they've terminated the contract.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they terminated it. And even we even came out to say that they were sacked. When they were sacked, they didn't give them a reason as to why their contracts were terminated. Yeah, and also, so the government delays payment to caterers will lead to a cycle of debt and food quality compromises. And some caterers also respond by reducing food portions or using lower quality ingredients. Yeah. So that has to do with the agreement.
So, but terminating the contract, are they going to employ new caterers?
I wouldn't see the
or they'll
need
review and then bring in the old ones again.
For that, we don't really know. But if they would bring in new people, then it's a question mark on the government.
Because what's the... If you are bringing in new people, does that mean you are bringing party loyalities? Loyalists.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. I see that.
I saw a video where these caterers are actually appealing to the government that they went in for loans to do.
But why should the caterer be the one to go for the loan?
It doesn't make sense.
Because I feel like if the government has not provided you
you don't need to.
You don't need to. From the beginning, you start with your own money, and then at the end of the month, the government comes to pay.
No! That's then the children will know it.
That's how. So most of them they will go in for loans, prepare the food.
So what if the government say, "Man, small circle just has come"? What will you do? Was it signed? Was it an agreement signed on paper?
For that, I don't know. But then you have to use your own money.
I can't remember where an MP came out to say that the government sector is not that appealing as we see it to be.
Oh, yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense why, as a government, you've employed someone to do a job for you, and you want that same person to start with his or her money. It doesn't go well. It doesn't sit down with me at all. So
all right,
really need to do
so
something.
that's it. Let's go for our last news story. Mama bans appointee from accepting gifts and favors in new code of conduct. President John Dramani Mahama has launched a strict code of conduct banning gifts and favors for government appointees, targeting conflict of interest and unethical influence in decision making. President John Dramani Mahama has issued a firm directive to all government appointees: no gifts or favors from individuals or entities with an interest in governmental decisions. The key rule is part of a newly launched code of conduct unveiled yesterday, Monday, May 5th, 2025, as part of Mahama's broader agenda to promote ethical governance under his 120-day social contract. He says, appointees are prohibited from accepting gifts or favors, especially from companies or individuals with an interest in governmental decisions. President Mahama emphasized during the launch. The president made it clear that the code is not symbolic, but is a binding set of rules that all government officials must follow. The new code applies across the executive arm of government, covering ministers, deputy ministers, the chief of staff, presidential staffers, CEOs and their deputies, members of the Council of State, board members and other appointees. Among its key provisions are strict measure on conflict of interest, gift declaration and use of government funds. So 1. Conflict of interest. Appointees must avoid or disclose any situation where personal interest could interfere with official duties, including owning stakes in companies that do business with government institutions. 2. High value gifts. If a gift received during official duties exceeds 20,000 Ghana cedis, it must be declared and, unless permitted by the president, surrendered upon leaving office. 3. Government spending. The code forbids the use of government funds, including internally generated funds, for hampers or gift items, except for modest staff gifts recognizing excellency or retirement. President Mahama's announcement signals a clear move toward enforcing accountability and transparency at the highest levels of public office. So this is it. So yesterday, President John Dramani Mahama launched the new code of conduct. And as part of it, he says accepting gifts and favors,
it's a red flag.
It's prohibited. And if you receive any money above that exceed 20,000 Ghana cedis, it must be declared and, unless permitted by the president, surrendered upon leaving office. Meaning that if you're an appointee and someone gives you 20,000 Ghana cedis, something more than that, you have to go and report yourself and declare that, yay, somebody has brought me 20 Ghana. But don't you think this is too much?
No, it's not too much. This made me remember this sports minister. Nyantechi. You know, it's alleged that it's not bribery.
It was actually a gift.
It was actually a gift. It was a gift. But you know, as an official, when you receive money in public, it has a different perception.
Okay. So this is it. Let's get it clear so we don't deviate. President John Dramani Mahama has issued a firm directive to all government appointees: no gifts or favors from individuals or entities with an interest in government decision. So it's more or less like,
is there still the same thing?
Yeah, I
The gifts Nyantichi received, it was about the person had interest in, is this sporting or something? The person had interest in it. So if I want to secure a deal with you, I would put measures in place to make sure that I get that deal. So in a way, I do agree with our president, but as he said, you need to report yourself. In other, a time will come where maybe that person will come out to say that you received bribe, but whereas it's not bribe, but you received it in private and we were not there, but we will tell you that it's bribe you took and it can cost you a lot. So in order to deal with all these issues and to cut all these bribery issues, when someone gives you money more than or less than, just report yourself to the president if truly it's not bribe.
So the person has seen that you are doing well. Ew. Let's take this minister.
In fact, president has to add statement. When the person is gifting you, the person needs to write official statement. but aside that, what he's doing is really good. I feel that in a way he's also protecting. It's too extreme, but he's in a way he's also protecting his appointees.
So you think I'm doing so well in government, or maybe I'm playing my role well as an MP, and you're like, oh, make a dashuka.
Make a dashuka. Let's say you're an immigration officer and you're in office, and someone comes to you and be like, oh, I want to give this to you, and your superior comes and meets what is happening. What would your superior have in mind? The perception.
In a way, I'm trying to get convinced. In a way, I feel like it's
be convinced.
Because if someone dash you a car and the person comes with an issue that you need to agree on,
in a way, you would
if you're not able to stand your ground, if you're not fair, you'll be like, hey. Then
it means public officials should not receive gifts as
so. That is what he's saying. No gift at all. And if someone gives you more than 20,000 Ghana cedis, come and report it. All right, Miss Debbie.
He also set an example because he was gifted 2 vehicles.
Yeah, he gave it to the state.
He gave it to the state.
From who?
He was dashed 2 vehicles.
I think I saw that yesterday.
And he gave it out to the state. So this is a leader by example.
And sorry to cut you, in his past administration, he was gifted a car. And when he was leaving, he left it for the state.
Oh yes.
And this time around, he has been given another car, and
then he
given it to the state.
So your leader.
Brother dash him car, you no go take.
In brother now, you no go leave it to the state.
The brother they drive himself, them they talk.
Imagine,
Miss Debbie.
So what he is doing, I feel like he's just. He wants his government to be full of transparency, and also for them to know that they've really meant what they are up to. And they want to be accountable. So with this, he is setting for them. It's a very big tax,
a very big tax. 20,000
to the extent that people who have not even declared their assets, their 3 months payment. President Mahama has already gave out his 6 months payment for his Mahama care. Not only after he has given out his 6 months pay, all the appointees are also supposed to give out their 1 month pay.
Oh.
In addition to his,
so that's
for the Mahama, that one is by force. But for the people that have refused to declare their assets, it means you are going to give 4 months, because plus that 1 month you are supposed to give. Do you get it? And then with this 3 months, like a whole president have come out to declare his assets, and then as an appointee, what to hold a day. And you see, these are the people that actually makes your administration look very bad. Because you cannot do it all. That's why you've appointed people. So you have to also follow the steps and the direction of the people. And then what he was saying, conflict of interest, is true.
Oh yeah.
You might be an intermediary for Ghana in a contract. And then looking at the money, the person will be like, I'll offer you this. That's I don't know whether you remember Al Jazeera expose concerning this gold mafia, where it was alleged that President Akufo-Addo is involved in this smuggling of gold, and he is supposed to take. Do you remember that issue? Exactly. So to prevent all these things, I think that's the right direction he has taken.
So Mahama bans our appointee from accepting gifts and favors. A new code of conduct. If you see 20,000 Ghana cedis If someone wants to if give you dash you money, you have to go and report it, or else you leave office. That was an interesting conversation we had right here on our news headline review. Up next, we have Debbie's Girl.
Good morning and thank you for joining me again on Debbie's Grill. We talk on issues that concerns the state, issues that matters to the state. And yesterday there was actually a demonstration, a whole lot went on. But I want us to focus on this. Ghana is under siege. Help us defend it. This is the minority leader pleading with Ghanaians. So the minority leader in Parliament, Alexander Hwenyumakin, has issued a passionate appeal to fellow legislators, urging them to rise above partisan interests and help safeguard Ghana's democratic institutions. So his comment came in yesterday when the New Patriotic Party, took to the street to protest against what they feel like is an intimidation on our judiciary. Now, in the course of the protest, he was calling on Ghanaians that they should help them, they should help the minority in parliament defend our democracy, defend the judiciary, because they feel like where the country is going to, or what the current administration is doing, if care is not taken, the country is going to crash. Now, these were the same people that have been in power for 8 good years. They kept quiet. Things were going back. They never talked. And then now they feel like our democracy is in ditch. And then the citizens of this country needs to help them out, making all sorts of claims. Saying that the citizens are feeling bad, traders at the markets are not happy, students are not happy, and so they have to demonstrate. How does suspending a chief justice affect a trader in the markets who is concerned about how the cedi and the dollar will stabilize for her to get her profit or benefit on what he or she is selling at the marketplace? And now you're calling on Ghanaians to help you defend democracy, because you feel like Ghana is crashing, and where we are getting to, things is going out of hand. The current administration are doing worse, and so we should help you. All these things were supposed to be done when you were in opposition, but no, you people were very quiet, even when sensitive issues were rising. And we feel like, well, maybe you have not seen it, or it hasn't caught your attention yet. And then when the citizens try to draw your attention to it, you didn't even mind them. To the extent that we couldn't even have peaceful protest, peaceful demonstration in this country. People go on demonstration, and at the end of the day, they'll get arrested. But yesterday, when it happened, we all saw what happened yesterday between the police personnel and the minority leader. And then now you come out telling us that the country is drowning. Democracy is drowning, so we should come and help you. Who told you that? And who told you that Ghanaians are sad? This is a petition that has been given to the president. And whoever has presented that petition to the president know what he or she has seen. And mind you, this petition has gone through due processes. First, the Council of State, and now a committee has been set, and the minority are now making another claims that because the president wants to run a 3rd term. See, that is not going to happen in this country. Because what we know is that every president or every government runs 2 terms. So when you are done, that's it. A different government comes into power. Even if they are having that kind of perception, it's not going to work. It is not going to work in this country. I'm not sure the youth of this country will sit down and then fold their arms that a government whose term in office is due we'll have to run a third term and then we'll just fold our hand and keep quiet and let him run the third term. No, it's not going to happen. But this is it. It looks as if the minority are now becoming a thorn in the flesh of the current administration. Because similar things occur during your administration. You didn't even allow us to express ourselves. No. You kept quiet, as if your mouths were glued with super glue. And then now that a new government is in, not even up to 1 year, trying to fix the mess your government has caused, you are saying we should come and help you to defend. Defend what? What exactly do you want us to help you defend? To defend you and then prevent the president from removing the chief justice, or what? This is a case where the chief justice has been suspended. The chief justice is not removed. I don't know why we don't want to understand such a simple concept. She has been suspended. And whether she will be removed or not, we are yet to know. But one thing we don't understand is how the minority are so defensive. I mean, talking here and then, demonstration here and then, just to secure their own. This is a chief justice that have been appointed for 4 years. Because I'm sure in the second term of the previous government, that was when she was appointed. She has been in office. She has done her part. So whether she'll be removed or not, it will depend on the works she has done. And so calling us to help you defend the country, the citizens of this country do not see the country moving into a ditch or sitting at where we are sitting now. We can't see that the country is collapsing. We are the only ones seeing that. And so we should help you defend it. In what way exactly? That is what we don't understand. But one thing I want the minority to understand here is that you should have been doing this when you were in power, not after you are now in opposition. You are now attracting the attention of the people. I feel like there are a lot of things to solve within the party. There are a lot of, necessary things to pay attention to instead. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.
There are lots of necessary things we need to pay attention more in this country. And that is coming from Miss Debbie on Debbie's Grill. Miss Regina.
Alright. So today is No Diet Day. May 6th is celebrated worldwide as International No Diet Day, a day dedicated to promoting a healthy lifestyle and raising awareness about the dangers of dieting and body shaming. Initiated in 1992 by British feminist Mary Evans Young, the day encourages people to appreciate their bodies and reject the unrealistic standards often portrayed in media. It's a day to honor body diversity, to recognize that beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, and to challenge the societal pressures that equate thinness with health and beauty. This day also serves as a reminder of the importance of a balanced relationship with food, advocating for eating that is guided by hunger, satiety, and pleasure, rather than strict and often harmful diet rules. Today in history, Eritrean-Ethiopian War begins. On May 6, 1998, hostilities erupted between Eritrea and Ethiopia over a border dispute near the town of Badme. This marked the beginning of the Eritrean-Ethiopian War, a conflict that lasted until 2000 and resulted in approximately 80,000 casualties. The war concluded with the signing of the Algiers Peace Agreement in December 2000. Today in history, ethnic clashes in Boko. Between May 4th and May 6th, 2008, The town of Boko in northern Ghana witnessed violent clashes between the Kusasi and Mamprisi ethnic groups. The conflict resulted in the death of more than a dozen individuals and highlighted the ongoing ethnic tensions in the region. 1994, Nelson Mandela confirmed as president-elect of South Africa. Nelson Mandela and the African National Congress were officially confirmed as the winners of South Africa's first multiracial democratic elections, which had taken place from April 26th to 29th, 1994. Today in history, implementation of free compulsory education for black children in 1975. The government announces that its aim is to provide all black children with free and compulsory education as soon as possible. Teachers and scholars rejected the education provided because it was deliberately made inferior to white education. Moreover, there was growing shortage of schools in rural and township areas for black education. Moving to some Did you know? Did you know that a sneeze can travel up to 100 miles? Sneezes can indeed travel at speeds of up to 100 miles per hour. This high velocity and the large number of droplets expelled make covering your mouth when you sneeze crucial to prevent the spread of germs. Did you also know that a rainbow can appear at night? Rainbow can appear at night, though it's less common and brighter than daytime rainbows. It's called moonbow or lunar rainbow. These nighttime rainbows are formed when moonlight is refracted through water droplets in the air, creating a rainbow effect, similar to how sunlight forms a rainbow during the day. Did you also know that the longest hiccuping spree lasted 68 years? The Guinness World Record for the longest hiccuping spree is held by Charles Osborne, who hiccuped continuously for 68 years from 1922 to 1990. Osborne experienced this hiccup averaging between 20 and 40 times per minute after a work-related fall while preparing to butcher a hog. And this is where I end today's Did You Know and Today in History live on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina Bless, for that fascinating fact. So the Boko fight today in history, Boko fight.
It's not funny. No, it's funny, but it's not funny.
No, it's not a joke. No, seriously, it's not a joke. Today in history, Boko
again.
Guys, today in history,
2008,
Boko fight, and today in history, they are still fighting. All right, thank you so much for joining us in the first segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We will go for the news, and right after the news, we will come up with the second segment. Please stay with us.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, I'm with level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. My 20 things about Kosem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say no artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Or you singer and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fi spit fire now. Listen, make you join me with studios. Our Ghana Talks Radio and yes say then our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app no. Our Play Store and the App Store. Na tune in and say this what you see baba live on Facebook, Kointakra, any Ghana Talks Radio page and so now listen. Ebe your fire. 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Good morning and welcome to the morning news broadcast on Ghana Talks Radio. Coming up, President Mahama introduces strict gift ban for appointees. Attorney General pledges to hold appointees accountable. Minority leader accuses President Mahama of autocratic rule. School feeding caterers in the Ashanti region urges President Mahama to reverse contract cancellation. These and many more coming up shortly in the world of business, sports, and showbiz. Do stay with me. To our first story, President John Dramani Mahama has inclined a new code of conduct which clearly defines how government appointees are expected to carry themselves in office. In his speech, the president issued a strong warning that any appointee who fails to declare their assets by Wednesday, May 7th, should consider themselves automatically dismissed. In addition to the dismissal, such individuals have already forfeited 3 months of their salaries. He spoke to us.
All those who are appointed or nominated before 31st March 2025 and fail to meet the deadline,
Ghana Talks Radio,
you are to forfeit
#1.
3 months of salary to be donated to the Ghana Medical Trust,
Ghana Talks Radio,
named after me, Mahama Cares. In addition
Ghana
to
Talks
1 month
Radio,
salary
#1.
that I've asked all appointees to donate to the Mahama Cares Trust Fund.
This is Ghana Talks Radio.
So it means that
the best
those
station
who
rocking the
omitted to
nation.
declare assets by the date, you are paying 4 months' salary to Mahama Cares. However, if by close of day Wednesday, 7th May 2025, any of you still fails to declare your assets, count yourself automatically dismissed.
As outlined in the new code of conduct, appointees are strictly prohibited for accepting gifts or favors, especially from individuals or entities with vested interest in government decisions. In line with this, the presidency disclosed President Mahama has received 2 cars as gifts, which he has since donated to the state.
We all know our cultural fondness for gifts, but we must now draw a clear line between appreciation and influence. Appointees are prohibited from accepting gifts or favors, especially from companies or individuals with interest in governmental decisions. If a gift is received during an official engagement and its estimated value exceeds 20,000 Ghana cedis, it must be declared. And upon leaving office, the gift must be surrendered unless expressly permitted to retain it by the president. As for hampers and gift items, No government funds, including internally generated funds, are to be used to purchase or distribute hampers.
President Mahama further stated that no political appointees is allowed to purchase state assets, including lands, vehicles, or shares directly or indirectly. He emphasized that any appointee who violates this directive will be dismissed.
Prohibition on purchasing state assets. No political appointee under this administration is permitted to purchase state assets, whether land, vehicles, shares, or buildings, directly or indirectly. If you attempt to do so and you are found out, your appointment will be terminated.
In related news developments, the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayene, has vowed to investigate and prosecute any government appointees who crosses the line, demonstrating his commitment to upholding the law and ensuring accountability within the government. His comments follows the directive of the President to dismiss appointees who violate his directives. Dr. Ayene emphasized the importance of transparency and accountability. He further states that his office will not hesitate to take action against any appointee who engages in misconduct.
In terms of enforcement, as he himself has put it, all right, there are various ways of enforcement. One way of enforcement is to ensure that there are sanctions. Okay, sanctions will apply for breach of the code of conduct for political appointees. And as he himself said, very clearly, and he said it without mincing words, is that if you breach the code, you get disciplined. He will terminate your appointment. I mean, of course, if there are other consequences flowing from your conduct, that will also be looked at. So, for instance, he said it's legally, enforceable, and that is true because if you have been, terminated, if your appointment has been terminated, it should be possible if criminal conduct flows from what you have done, for the Attorney General to then pick up the matter and then, make sure that the courts impose the necessary criminal sanctions on you. And so I don't think that it is, enough to say, look, the person's appointment has been terminated. If the termination has come and there is anything to, follow up as far as criminal sanctions is concerned, it will be done. I've said that several times, and I think I have the support of the President when it comes to that. That the President has said, don't cross the line. If you cross the line, then it means that the sanctions will flow, and that includes taking legal action against you. I've said it several times, and I will not, hesitate to investigate and prosecute anybody who is an appointee of this government who crosses the line. Because it doesn't make sense, and, for purposes of the public's sense of fairness, that past appointees will be prosecuted and then present appointees will go scot-free. That means that you are leaving room for them to be prosecuted in the future. You are just simply deferring their prosecution, and it doesn't make sense. So the President always says that we should not conduct ourselves in such a way that we give him the unpleasant duty of having to fire anybody. All right. I will also say that.
Moving to other stories, the minority leader Alexander Fenyo-Markins has made a serious allegations about the current state of Ghana's military and the presidency under President Mahama's administration. According to him, the military's traditional non-partisanship is being compromised, with the institution allegedly being painted in the National Democratic Congress colors. This, he claims, is a dangerous development that destroys the republic. He further alleges that President Mahama has abandoned his role as a president whilst acting like an autocrat who sees himself as a ruler for life. His comments suggest deep concerns about the state of governance and democracy in Ghana.
Senior military officers with years of faithful service. He has gathered the Ghana Armed Forces of professionals, experience and neutrality. Our military, once revered for its non-partisanship, is now being painted in NDC colors. This is dangerous. This is a dangerous betrayal of the Republic. And why? Because President Mahama no longer sees himself as a president. He fancies himself an autocrat, a ruler for life. A number of guests at his inauguration told this story. Military dictators, authoritarian sympathizers, men of iron fists and empty conscience. And as if to erase all doubt, he donned full military regalia at a recent armed forces event, parading as commander of a nation he plans to subdue, not to serve. His every gesture speaks to a sinister agenda to break the constitution, amend it, and prolong his grips on power, abetted by a judiciary he is desperate to capture. This explains the relentless siege on the judiciary. A judiciary that has stood as a last bulwark between autocracy and freedom is now his target. Today, the Chief Justice, Gertrude Aruba Isaba Saki Tokunu, a distinguished servant of this republic, is under siege. The head of the judiciary is being dragged through a sham process of removal from office, engineered by a desperate president and a rubber stamp by a failed Council of State. Their goal is not justice, it is intimidation.
The Ashanti Regional School feeding caterers are calling on President Mahama to reconsider the cancellation of their contract. According to them, the sudden cancellation of their contract and a tight financial situation is a cause of worry. They emphasize that the sudden cancellation may disrupt the school feeding program, affecting the nutrition and well-being of students. The caterers highlight the need for a more comprehensive approach to contract management, considering the financial and social implications for all parties involved. They spoke to GhanaTalks Radio.
Ashanti Regional School Feeding Caterers Association President. And pay by school feeding. Juma, I could you say Tuesday, you best start here. In a letter around 4 p.m. Friday, say, Yoga Mahama, so I terminate your contract. They say until you feel come and say, the back, you can say, you become once because you are doing a digger. You are toying your men in a Benada, Yakomodiana. And she say, Yoga Mahama, so all my own Modiana, and Kiamodiana be a second term, and because the Sanko catching. Said the Bayanka, young fire loom, young Kojilu, and cook, and Campessia Kodija. The only one is sick a credit and a Kakrawaka, and no dear Dijan. Yes, sir. Yeba, nearby the same, and the gender minister said, "A sinister, then she Mahama say upon a show, ye Nema, ye Ghana former, ye Dumon, ye single parents. Just say your share kuna for your shank of Ranem Rewogu Demoa, ye show woman. Tis a probase, well, terminate upon just like that, dear. You pass a message and training. No matter what I'm going to say, you understand a circulating over your platform. So, FM stations, also a report, meaning say, even though there is no signature, effective or accurate or more than if you never mobile and someone will catch you this summer.
Minister of Youth Development and Empowerment of Ghana, George Opari Addo, highlights on the importance of collective effort in combating opioids and substance abuse in Ghana. The Red Means Stop initiative aims to raise awareness and prevent substance abuse among young people. George Opari Addo call to action encourages Ghanaians to partake in creating public awareness, supporting affected individuals, and encouraging a healthy lifestyle. He stressed that working together will have a positive impact and reduces the prevalence of substance abuse in the country.
Yeah, Juma ye can see a baby in Codex program present launch a Juma apprenticeship, Women's Bank. We are buying person you be a Janani Panana Hordenso.
That's true.
So you near Horden. Now you are doing that. So it's carrying a bit 12. Unfortunately, at the body be creeping into the abuse of drugs. To the extent that even our universities, are becoming epicenters for such drug medicine. There is a country in West Africa, our data suggests in the last 4 years, a drug friend Kush and running ready. About market, they've lost 20% of their youth. And so we have launched our red campaign. The can is red means stop. It's don't go and take this red drug. It will only destroy you. Me traveling to our first share data be almost sample 10 secondary schools in the northern region. Out of the 10, out of every 10 students on Monday on Kasai, there are 6 have taken one substance or the other.
At an early age.
And so there is a campaign that we are calling on Ghana and Nibia said or drink Ghana, not dog Ghana, not over Ghana, Akomapa. So on joining.
Campaign no more anything.
Okay, so we've launched it, we've done series of engagements, we are doing community engagements. As part of our nationwide tour now here for a Jumera National Apprenticeship Program, we've attached the red campaign.
In business, the government has inaugurated an 8-member private sector participation steering committee to provide strategic oversight for the implementation of the reintroduced multiple lease model aimed at transforming electricity distribution in Ghana. The multiple lease model approach, which segments electricity distribution services into regional units to be managed by various private operators, is designed to attract credible investors, enhance efficiency, reduce technical and commercial losses, and improve customer satisfaction nationwide. The private sector privatization steering committee will be chaired by Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapor, Minister for Energy and Green Transition, with Honorable Dr. Kaiser Atuforsen, Minister of Finance, serving as co-chair. Other members include Elizabeth Ofosu Achare, Minister of Trade and Agriculture, Dr. Dominic Ayene, Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Honorable Felix Kwache Ofosu, these among others. In a statement read on his behalf by the Deputy Minister for Energy and Green Transition, Honorable Richard Jan Mensah, at the inauguration in Accra, said the multiple lease model was a cornerstone of the government's broader energy sector recovery and modernization strategy. He explained that the steering committee will provide strategic direction for the PSP rollout, gather baseline data including auditing the PSP deal, coordinate with ECG, NETCO, regulatory bodies and transaction advisors, as well as monitor progress across critical milestones. He added that the PSP implementation unit within the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition will serve as the secretariat to the committee, offering administrative and technical support throughout the implementation process. Honorable Jinapor charged the committee to ensure that the procurement of technical, financial and legal transaction advisors is completed by May 31st to facilitate the commencement of detailed implementation. To some sports, Tottenham Forest dropped points in the race for a Champions League spot as they were held to 1-1 draw by Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. Opened the scoring from the spot after the video assistant referee intervened to show Forest goalkeeper taking out Tyrick Mitchell in the penalty area, but the host lead lasted for just 4 minutes as Morello flicked on Neco Williams' powerful strike past Dean Henderson. The goals arrived after lackluster first half in which side lacked a quality in front of goal. Michel delivered a superb cross to unmarked Daniel Munoz, who could only sweep an awkward volley straight, whilst Anthony Elgan failed to complete a blistering counter-attack when he sent a strike at Henderson. In a frantic spell after the interval, Esmela was kept out by on Russian sales before a crucial block at the other end to stop Wood from scoring his 20th Premier League goal of the season. Eze puffed out his chest and soaked up the admiration of the Palace crowd after slamming his penalty into the left corner. Substitute Eddie Nketiah thought he had won the game at the death for Palace when he prodded a wide shot from Eze into the back of the net. Morelos celebrates after scoring goal against Crystal Palace. The draw keeps Forest sixth, but they see 2 points behind Newcastle and Chelsea in 4th and 5th with 3 games remaining. Palace remain 12th and are 3 points away from equaling their best Premier League point tally of 49 set last season. Now, in showbiz, organizers of the Telecel Ghana Music Award, Charterhouse, has imposed limitations on appearances for the red carpet this year. This new plan is part of effort to ensure order and sanity during the red carpet session, as industry persons have over the years criticized organizers for poor red carpet sessions. Only officially invited celebrities and dignitaries will be allowed access to the red carpet at this year's gala, making it exclusive experience. According to the organizers, there will be 2 red carpet sessions, one for general media interviews and photo shoots, and the main one of which the two Who Are You Wearing will be done. Strict invitation will be required for appearance on the main red carpet, which will be televised. There has long been controversy surrounding the TGMA red carpet, with critics pointing to poor production and questionable choice of celebrities on the red carpet. Others have voiced concerns about the often poor fashion sense exhibited on the red carpet. Last year, the likes of Michael Ola and Kofi Otridako expressed their disappointment with the organization of the red carpet event. In his opinion, he mentioned that the red carpet was an event on its own, but after many years, Charterhouse has yet to master it. KOD, founder of the 1957 fashion company, noted that the people who appeared on the carpet could have done better. And that's how we draw curtains for now on the morning news broadcast. Don't forget to log on to www.GhanaTalks Radio for more news updates, as well as logging on to all streaming platforms at GhanaTalksRadio.com. My name is Deborah Adoso. Do have a good morning.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues,
entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, and I'm level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry Brell, our Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. My 20 things set about Kwasem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Or you singer and now you rapper, you think say you get bars, you go fit spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios, our Ghana Talks Radio, and yes say then our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app, our Play Store and the App Store. Na tune in and say this what you see baba live on Facebook, Kointakra, any Ghana Talks Radio page in this. Now listen, I bet you fire 1 year, Wading, Jajan.
It's another beautiful morning on Ghana Talks Radio, where we bring you